Hi, I'm Pony. I'm 68 years old and I'm a transgender person who is just starting my medical experience. To quote Adam LaRue, join me, shall you? Hi there, I'm Pony Horton, and welcome to Pony's Transmission. I'm old, I'm trans, get off my lawn! How did I become trans? Who am I? I'm sure these are all questions you want to know. Who am I? Well, my name is Pony Horton. I was born and raised in California, Southern California specifically. I came up in the motion picture industry, eventually ended up in journalism, and still working in movies. I now work in graphic arts. I am retired, but I still work. I've worked on a number of feature films going all the way back to the late 1970s, including Steven Spielberg's 1941. I ended up being the director of photography of Valley Cable TV studios in the early 1980s, where I was able to make some of my own shows, an example of which is right here.
It was built upon this huge piece of property at the turn of the century.
I later went on to directing television commercials, such as especially the very first AIDS awareness PSAs ever done in the United States in 1983 and 84, starring Zelda Rubinstein. Here's one of those.
Remember you kids go out to play, fall down and get a boo-boo, and I'd reach for the old first aid kit to make it better, give you a hug and a kiss, tell you to play safely? Now some of your brothers are very sick, and I don't have anything to make them better.
AIDS. Protect yourself and others. Call 800-922-AIDS for free information and play safely. LA cares like a mother.
So tell your brothers to play safely.
I ended up guest starring in 4 episodes of Here TV's The Lair, playing Mr. Spivey.
If you'll be needing any more of the same, I think I know where I can put my hands on something close by.
Then I went on to becoming the visual effects supervisor on the fan series Star Trek Phase 2, where I also got to guest star in one episode as the Klingon Kisha.
I do not fear war, Captain. I relish it.
These days, I'm working with graphic arts. I decided to put together a wish board of how I hope to look in my trans journey. Here's the photo of me that I used as the before. You can see my hairline is a little further down. The braids are starting to pull some of the hair out. Here's what I hope to look like after facial feminization surgery. And here's what I hope to look like with the full look. If I can get 60% of that, I'll be pretty happy. Here's what life was like for me when I was a young person. I was growing up as a boy, and I was perfectly happy presenting as a boy, as you can see. Well into my teen years, these images were in my 20s. By then I started making videotapes, so you can see some of it here.
Whipping around LA.
However, even as far back as 16, I knew I was a two-spirit person, and I never had any dysphoria about it. But eventually, the girl has become more and more demanding. I'd let her out a little bit here and there, wearing my hair long, wearing clear nail polish, wearing women's underwear, things like that. Eventually, though, she needed to present more and more, to the point where, well, where we're at today. The egg started cracking a few years ago, little by little, not a big event. I will say I never had any dysphoria about my body other than my belly, which I can't seem to lose the weight off of. Otherwise, I was generally fairly happy. In my trans journey, I plan on transitioning medically to the point of having top surgery and facial feminization surgery. I don't plan on getting rid of my genitals. I'm perfectly happy with those just the way they are. Now, the emotional aspect, again, as I said, I didn't have dysphoria, but I did have longing. Whenever I would see a woman with the kind of body I wished I had, I'd wish I had it. I'd look at that and I'd say, ooh, I want that. I'd look at hot guys, and I'd kind of feel that for it too, but really when I saw a woman, especially a well-endowed woman, you know, that's what I wanted, as you can see by that last photo. And this is not a vanity project, by the way, nor is it a phase. I've known this for quite some time. I came out over a year ago to everyone who knows me, and I've had over a year's worth of therapy in this direction as well. In fact, I'll say that pretty much everybody who knew me that I came out to had a reaction to along the variation of, well, yeah, we kind of knew, or it took you long enough to figure it out, or that figures. You're almost halfway there. So I guess a lot of them knew before I did, and they've all taken it beautifully. I'm very, very fortunate. Well, these are the keys to my kingdom. I'm going to start taking them. Actually, I'm going to start taking the estrogen for the first month, then the testosterone blockers. I'm using this little device to cut the pills in half. I'll take one half in the morning, the other in the evening. I'll be taking them sublingually, by the way. I'm not going to be swallowing them because I don't want them to go through the liver. So in this case, they will go directly into the bloodstream from under the tongue, and then they'll start working. So, got one ready to go here, and I'm going to take it. Before I do, though, I wish to say one thing. I'm funding this by myself, well, between this and my Medi-Cal. And I do have something that I would like to advertise to you. I know you probably hate commercials and things like that, so I'll put it on at the end of the vlog. However, it is about something that I invented myself, and I think you'll find it interesting. Stick around after the credits and you'll see it. Anyway, so here we go. Little blue pill. This is going to change my life. So I'm counting this July 4th, the 250th anniversary of America, as my own Independence Day. Independence from binary thought, and the independence to live my true trans life. So I just fit it in there. Put it back on there. And then close the blade. And there we are. There's my pill. These things are hard to open. So I'll take this sublingually, and in a couple of years, we'll see what happens. Excusing the improvements, I mentioned to you earlier that I had a product I wanted to advertise. This is the Body Curve. I invented and patented this myself. What it is a wall-mounted, hands-free scrub brush. You put it against the wall of your shower with the two adhesive tapes, and then you lean your back against it, and you scrub like a bear against a tree. It's a really good way to get your back scratched and clean, especially if you have range of motion issues. I'm going to show you one of the commercials that I produced for it. I think you'll get a kick out of it. It's even funnier than this vlog. Thanks. We'll see you next time.
Station Houston, do you copy? Station Houston, do you copy? Station Houston, please respond. Station Houston, do you copy?
He's coming up on Rosenot Victor. Switch over.
Yeah. I can still hear his stupid music coming through.
Fight, he can't hear me over the Blue Danube waltz playing.
Just get him to take the shower. We don't have all day.
Station Houston, please respond.
Hey, the Blue Danube waltz is not stupid.
Did he copy that?
Live long and prosper.